What is up, space pirates? This is your Admiral, the chronically charismatic Dr. Disaster, and there has been a tendency in recent years for gaming journalists to ignore certain games and not review them if the game doesn't align with their personal views and if they think they can get by with it. They basically pretend that those games don't exist.
Hey, I'm right here.
Not listening. Not listening.
The average game ends up getting somewhere around 60 or 70 reviews from professional critics on Metacritic. Claire Obscure, for example, got a few more reviews than usual, sitting at 84 of them, as you can see, but back in December, when Marvel Rivals came out, that game was a major release, but because it didn't uglify the Marvel characters and push the feminist narrative, it took weeks before they even hit the minimum threshold of 4 reviews to even receive a Metacritic score. Even now, they only have 23 reviews. Meanwhile, Lollipop Chainsaw REJECTS came out last fall, and to this day, that game only has 8 reviews, and we all know why that is.
Because I hate you!
This was a scandal, and people specifically called out IGN for not reviewing the game. Some people tried to discredit this calling out of IGN, citing the fact that, as you can see here, IGN mentioned the game was launching a bit early, and in this same article, they reminded people that they gave the original a 5 out of 10 score, which is categorically not reviewing the new version of the game, though some people tried to claim this counts. But they simply didn't want to bring attention to a game that contradicts their feminist worldview where women have to all look like bulldogs, and this was a story that they wanted to go away.
Come on, flush, you bastard.
But the story did not go away, and in fact, it looks like all they've managed to do is piss off these developers that made the game. These guys that made Lollipop Chainsaw REJECTS, they just announced that they are making a brand new sequel in the franchise, and they are also putting together an anime adaptation. But not only that, but in their announcement, they made it clear that they are essentially going to war with DEI, stating explicitly in their announcement that they will not be allowing that DEI philosophy to restrict their game. It seems like pushing this progressive shit has made enemies out of more than just gamers. Lollipop Chainsaw REJECTS and their makers, they are over that shit as well.
Get that stinking shit out of my face.
Alright, me hearties, make sure that you hit the like button on this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and also, don't forget to follow me over on X, where my handle is Dr. Disaster 1. I keep a list on there of games lousy with wokeness pinned to the account at all times for your reference. I've also started uploading some content onto Rumble too, so make sure that you follow Dr. Disaster over there. But let's take a look at what the makers of Lollipop Chainsaw had to say about their upcoming game. This here is the page where the owners of this franchise made their announcement about the sequel and their development philosophy. Let's read it. It says, they are pleased to announce the launch of 2 major new projects in the Lollipop Chainsaw series, a brand new game and an anime adaptation. Lollipop Chainsaw is a zombie action game originally released in 2012, known for its dark humor and graphic gore. In 2024, the remastered edition, Lollipop Chainsaw REJECTS, was released to positive acclaim. With cumulative series sales surpassing 1.5 million units, the title has enjoyed enduring support from fans over the years. Under the strong partnership between Nada Holdings and Dragami Games, development is already underway on a brand new Lollipop Chainsaw title that both preserves and builds upon the appeal of the original. With a firm commitment to honoring the spirit of the original work, the development team includes key staff members who were involved in the previous title. The new project is also being developed with close attention to fan feedback. As with the original, the new title aims to recreate a world rich in dark humor. The development process will prioritize staying true to the distinctive tone and spirit of the original work without imposing excessive creative restrictions in the name of DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. And that right there is a straightforward rebuke of the progressive shit-lib mentality that has run roughshod over the industry for the past decade or so. Do not expect Juliet Starling to be race swapped, or to transition into a man, or to put on 70 pounds in order to avoid upsetting the gluttonous, hedonistic feminists out there. Clearly, this is a game that is comfortable simply being itself, and you can't blame them for ignoring these hive-mind cockroaches in the gaming industry who obviously do not want them to succeed. After all, doing things that these game journalists approve of is not exactly a pathway to success these days. Look at Dragon Age the Veilguard. We covered how recently that game was given the Game of the Year award at the Gaming Awards, where they celebrate LGBT stuff in games. But all of the praise and accolades that Dragon Age the Veilguard got didn't exactly cause it to do well in sales, despite being the sequel in a massive franchise which should have sold many millions of copies. Dragon Age the Veilguard sold like crap because people reject gender ideological nonsense that the game was clearly trying to push onto us. Meanwhile, a game like Stellar Blade was initially crapped on by these same game journalists who claimed that depicting Eve as they do in that game was somehow harming women. But look at how well Stellar Blade has sold. That game has over 2 million copies sold on the PC, despite releasing on that platform over a year after the game's initial launch. So, a studio like Dragami can either worry about chasing after the awards and praise of game journalists and end up like Dragon Age the Veilguard, or they can strive to be like Stellar Blade, which the journos despised, though now they're claiming to love it. But they can be like Stellar Blade and just try to please the gamers, the actual consumers of the product. This is a no-brainer if you ask me, especially when you throw in the contentious relationship that Lollipop Chainsaw has had with these game journalists over the past year. Look at this message that they had to issue last year. It says right here, "It has been brought to our attention that there are claims we did not send out review codes for Lollipop Chainsaw Repop, and that is the reason why there are few media reviews for the game available." This is simply not true. We sent out codes to over 60 media entities a week before launch, as well as to numerous Steam curators. The inflammatory accusation that we were trying to hide something by not sending out review codes is factually wrong. We cannot speculate on why certain media outlets haven't published reviews, but the suggestion that we withheld codes to avoid critique is false. So, with that in mind, considering that this was the excuse that a lot of these outlets pushed in order to get us to back off from talking about how they didn't review this game, with that in mind, it is not surprising in the least that these guys would essentially declare war and embrace the sort of gamers who actually support them. Let's hope they end up successful in doing this. But I'm going to leave it there. Drop your mockery of the deceitful game journalists and your support of Lollipop Chainsaw the franchise into the comment section below, and we will talk there. Thanks for watching, me hearties. If you haven't already, your Admiral is inviting you to subscribe to the channel and become a part of the crew. Life as a space pirate may not be glamorous, but there's always plenty of booty.